Good morning, Andrew. I thought I'd do a quick video for you this morning. So Happy New Year. I'm still somewhat in holiday mode till next week, but wanted to touch base with you in regards to the franchisees LinkedIn training and the opportunity that is available for them and yourself to grow the business. Just this morning I was looking at some LinkedIn stats and they're getting pretty exciting for 2019. Currently LinkedIn has 500 million members and its goal is to have 3 billion members. So there's some pretty significant growth. Now, of that 500 million, 260 million do log in every month. So that's sort of quite consistent, but 40% of the members actually are logged in daily, and this is where some of that daily visibility comes into play, as well as the profile build. Now, also on LinkedIn, which is I think very relevant to you in that corporate space that you're in and in that executive training, is 61 million people on LinkedIn are senior level influencers. Which is very cool for you. So they're the people that you're wanting to obviously target and reach. And there's also 40 million decision makers, the people that make the buying decisions. So some really cool stats that have just come out of LinkedIn. Obviously, I'll be able to share more later on as well. But to just follow on from our very brief conversation originally, I've used LinkedIn personally for years. I've launched my own events. I've launched several very large Australian entrepreneurs events as well. I've launched individuals using LinkedIn and multiple programs as well. Generally, I've done this by doing actually the opposite to what most people do, and finding different hacks and different ways of using LinkedIn in a very connected manner. So that's some of the stuff that I will share, and why it was so important for me to share with you that what I do is actually quite different. I also mentioned that I've been most recently working with Jane Anderson, as she's my mentor, and she's a leading branding and marketing specialist that did start out on doing stuff with LinkedIn like I did, and she has she's in the top 1% most viewed LinkedIn profiles globally. So her process and my process has been combined, and we've shared our insights, what she does to stand out, how she uses searchability, and then what I do from a business development perspective to help people grow their business. So she brings a lot of that futurist, cutting edge new stuff that's coming out before everybody else gets hold of it, and then I add the logic, the business development, and the automation, or the systems behind that. Something I didn't realise I did quite as much as I do. So you'll find that I've attached and created a bit of a working document, which is a bit of a conversation document around the way that I've actually mapped out the LinkedIn training. I've done it in this way, and I want to create an intro video like I'm doing here, to just give the guys and your team my perspective of outside of the box thinking, because it is going to, for those that are using LinkedIn, it's going to be a bit different for them. And then it's very, very important that obviously the team buy into this process, that they have as much enthusiasm and excitement. Perhaps not quite as much as I do to start with, but certainly as much as Caesar has and you have around that. And then through doing that intro video, we'll find out actually who is actually excited and who perhaps needs a little bit more convincing or a little bit more information so they have the same level of buy-in. I've mapped it out across 2 days, predominantly because I think people need more space between their learning for it to be able to integrate into them, so they can actually come from a space to implement. So you'll see that the day one is just giving them the overview. It's a very full day of expanding their thinking, and then day two is more around how do I make this work, what are the systems, and that type of thing. The key that I've found, having worked with the public group, because I've predominantly been doing this with my one-on-one clients, and that's been really easy because I see them really regularly, so we can keep them moving forward. But with that public group that I ran, I found afterwards that people were needing a lot more support to keep them moving forward, which is why I've wanted to include the significant follow-up points in there and be available to the team if they personally want some more one-on-one stuff there as well. So this follow-up is really to give them the opportunity of support that they need, and serve them to really be able to put them in a place that they can actually implement and, more importantly, develop the habits to win, because ultimately it ends up being around 7 to 15 minutes a day that people are doing if they're doing it themselves, and there's not a lot to it. There's just consistency, which is the way to win the game anyway. So I look forward to speaking with you soon. I'm back at work next week, so I would love to make a time with you to go through it all. Thank you very much. You have a great rest of the week, and see you soon.